This is Nostradamus, and he is known as one of the most future-telling individuals of history. He has literally made thousands of predictions that have already come true. And people are saying that some of his predictions for 2024 are actually already occurring. The 16th century philosopher had a chronicle of future-telling events that was believed to be written around 1555, called Les Prophéties. Ooh, sounds a little spooky. I mean, in all honesty, he's better at this than The Simpsons. He's like immaculate with his predictions. We'll say he's predicted Adolf Hitler, COVID, all kinds of things. One of the predictions that people are saying that he's already predicted for 2024. So a lot of people think that he already predicted this powerful, huge, horrendous 7.5 earthquake in Japan. Because in one of his 2024 predictions, he put the dry earth will become more parched and there will be great floods. And a lot of people believe that this could be related to the possible tsunami warning. Even though we haven't seen any flooding yet in Japan, but that's what a lot of people think it is. So let's look at the other predictions that he predicted for 2024 and save this video so you could go back and see if they came true. So there's a lot of talk of combat and naval type battles, and a lot of people think that this possibly could be China and Taiwan. Because Nostradamus said the red advisory will become pale with fear, putting the great ocean in dread. And when we think of a red flag, a lot of people think of China. Some people are even predicting that Nostradamus is talking about King Charles and Prince Harry, who is the younger son who technically would not be king if something happened to Prince Charles. Okay, so the reason why they think this is because in one of his areas of what he wrote, he put the king of the Isles was driven out by force. So some people are thinking that's King Charles. And then soon after a horrible war, the new king shall be anointed, who for the long time will appease the earth, meaning a lot of people will like him. But that's all, predictions. And he said in one section that he would be the king, the spare hire, who has no mark for being king. So could Prince Henry become king? I don't know. These predictions are wild, but maybe it's somebody else. Nostradamus also talks about the climate many a times, and this was kind of his trend in 2023 as well. But like I said, he continues to talk about how dry the earth is, how warm it is. He also predicted high weather events in areas of where people are in poverty and extreme hunger. And a lot of people are saying that back in 2023, he predicted one of the Pope's deaths, and in 2024, that's still kind of the same theme when we look at it in that area, because he put through the death of a very old pontiff, a Roman good age will be elected. Of him, it will be said that he is weakens he sees, but long will he sit in the biting activity. So they're thinking somebody young, like a younger Pope might come. We have to remember Pope Francis. He's just about to turn 87. And this year actually was the year that Nostradamus picked for a full-on war. And a lot of people believe that there's going to be more war in 2024, maybe in different areas of regions, but just more war if it's cyber attacks or if it's actual land attacks or on sea. But a lot of people are saying that they think there's going to be more war in 2024. And of course, these prophecies are very kind of like vague, and they can be interpreted in many different ways. So just have an open mind and let's not freak out. But let's definitely go back and check this out in the end of 2024. Let's look at some of Nostradamus's 2023 predictions that a lot of people say actually have come true. So back in 2022, I did a video on Nostradamus's predictions for 2023. He predicted that there was a great war, and a lot of people think that this war is referring to Russia and Ukraine. What's also interesting now we have another war between Israel and Hamas. So there's definitely been a lot of energy of a lot of war. Russia and Ukraine are actually at like 2 years. So this war is continuing to go. This was another prediction, was civil unrest, and a lot of people feel like it has to do with a high economy, also the dynamic between the two political structures, and just a lot of area of civil rights, if that's rights with gender, religion, or race, but just a lot of civil unrest continues to occur in 2023, and a lot of people feel that this prediction did come true. And of course, he talked about global warming, but a lot of people feel that not only was he referring to global warming as a whole, but he said, like the sun, the head shall sear the shining sea, the black sea, living fish shall all but boil. But some people believe that he actually predicted the heat wave that was occurring in Europe in 2023, where there was record-breaking numbers. So a lot of people are saying that he's not just referring to just the general global warming, but he's actually referring to this heat wave. Another one of the predictions that he made, besides the civil unrest, is also the economic disaster. So he basically said that so high will the bushel of wheat rise. And what's interesting is back in 2023, I believe there was an actual wheat rise in prices, and a lot of that had to do with Ukraine, that the man will be eating his fellow man. And I think that basically talks about how cutthroat it's getting out here with like the economics and the areas of inflation. So one of the things that he did predict was that humans would walk on Mars, and that didn't necessarily happen, but we do have to remember that there was a lot of, and even though humans didn't walk on Mars, we did have our rover that did a lot of walking and investigating on Mars. So Elon Musk says that he doesn't think that people will be on Mars until about 2029, but Nostradamus predicted it in 2023. But we also do have to remember that we had the NASA rover, who in 2023 actually did a lot of discovering, and he even got like soil samples, I guess, to check the land out in Mars. And he took a lot of pictures where they find like what appears to be strange dragon bone looking Mars rocks, and also something that looks like it could be a spoon, you know, this just formulation of land possibly, but nobody really knows, right? Because we haven't actually been on Mars, except we do have a rover who's sending us photos. But what's also interesting is in 2023, they discovered that there was actually signs of life on Mars, because they feel that they found like areas of where water once was. And we know that there was like a small patch, a stream, but now they're saying that there possibly was actual like life, like maybe even vegetation, like plants. So that's kind of interesting that Nostradamus did predict something with Mars for 2023. So the predictions of something happening with the Vatican has kind of been the theme for the last 2 years of 2023, and then also again with 2024. So Nostradamus predicted that there was going to be a pope who basically passed away, and we did have Pope Benedict, even though he was not like the most known pope to like really be out there right now, it's Pope Francis. So a lot of people say that he must have been talking about the death of Pope Benedict, and Pope Benedict did actually resign or like step down from his popeness right before his death, which was right on the beginning of 2023. So let's see if the predictions of 2024 are going to come true as well. Like most philosophers, he is also an astrologer, considered to be like intuitive, and a lot of people say that his predictions are about an average of 70% right. Sometimes they are kind of vague, and you have to remember the way that they wrote stuff back then wasn't very detailed, right? So it's kind of like you have to read it with an open mind and see if you believe it or not. So let me know what you guys think.